From straight up guitar animals to leaders of the progressive metal genre, Tosin Abasi, Javier Reyes, and Matt Garstka have established themselves as one of the most recognizable metal bands of the 2000s, Animals as leaders. Known for their technical yet proper songwriting approach, the gentlemen of Animals as leaders don't just create music, they create art. Their interpretive videos, along with accompaniment, are enough to elicit what I can best describe as a brain dance. While their music isn't for everyone, it will forever hold a special place in the realm of instrumental guitar, just due to the trio's transformative outlook on writing music.
But I think polyphonic instruments allow you to combine intervals in a way that produce tension or relief in a way that is hard to do monophonically.
Their songs are often a cascade of sounds full of dissonant harmonies that somehow clash while also working together. The band does a lot of things well, and while I love their heavy sound in songs like Kafo, I personally really enjoy their execution of cleaner guitar parts that can be heard in Physical Education and at the end of Inner Assassins. I'm guitarist and producer Mon Floral, and today we're going to be diving into how these incredible animals became leaders of the progressive djent rock metal genre. Now, we can't talk about Animals as leaders without talking about the leader of the Animals, Tosin Abasi, who people online constantly say I look like, which I'll take as a compliment. Born to a Nigerian immigrant family in Washington, D.C., the 8-string thumping legend Tosin Abasi founded Animals as leaders in 2007, which originally started as a solo project with help from Misha Mansour.
First album I did with Misha Mansour, he and I basically did the whole album.
Since then has been ranked number 97 on Guitar World's list of best guitarists of all time, as well as number 2 on Guitar World's best guitarists of the decade. Tosin is the epitome of virtuosic guitar playing, being primarily a self-taught musician from the age of 12 up until attending and graduating from the Atlanta Institute of Music and Media.
How did you learn mainly?
Self-taught mainly, but dude, like when I was a beginner, things that were popular were super easy to play, like Nirvana and freaking like it wasn't that hard.
Tosin doesn't just play guitar, he expands it, pioneering numerous techniques including thumping.
Okay, yeah, so 2 strokes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Which has become a widespread form of guitar playing, as well as selective picking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In all honesty, Tosin is one of the closest representations of a walking guitar god that you can get. And as ambiguous as his guitar playing may sound, he knows what he's doing. Tosin has been interviewed by nearly every musical media outlet out there and has been on multiple guitar clinic panels.
You can create like rhythmic space, and so it feels like this sort of release. So it's all about balance.
There's no doubt that everyone knows how good he is. With Tosin's expansive music theory knowledge and insane guitar playing accuracy, it's a no-brainer as to why he's been named one of the best guitarists of all time. Just to put this into perspective, a large majority of the best guitar players have either passed away or were around in the 80s when guitar music was at its peak. This means that Tosin achieving this title is equivalent to a teenage painter being classified in the same group as Da Vinci or Van Gogh, which is pretty impressive and also damn near impossible. The craziest part is that Tosin's legacy goes beyond his guitar playing. In 2017, he concluded his decade-long partnership with Ibanez Guitars and started his own guitar company, Abasi Concepts, which specializes in the manufacturing of extended range guitars, meaning any guitar that is more than 6 strings. In and outside of the studio, Tosin has achieved the title of a successful artist, and he's been a force in the industry long before the formation of Animals as leaders. He's played in numerous bands prior, with the most notable one being the metalcore band Reflux. A lot of today's best guitarists started out playing metal music, which makes sense due to its heavy focus on fast guitar runs and also chugging. Even I used to listen to a lot of nu metal bands like Rise Against, Knuckle Puck, if you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, right? As a side project to Animals as Leaders, both Tosin and Javier were members of a jazz fusion group known as Tram that concluded in 2012. I've listened to a couple of their songs, and personally the fusion is a little too much for me, but it does show how experimental these two are, and you have to appreciate how they've always pushed to create new sounds as opposed to recycling old ones, for the most part. Speaking of the guitar duo, it is worth noting that both Javier and Tosin have built pretty successful careers outside of Animals as Leaders, which I believe has been a crucial contributor to their growth. Bringing together multiple artists who've already made a name for themselves is a recipe for success. Javier Reyes is also a beast on an 8-string guitar, but he started out as a trained classical guitarist.
There's two major influences. One is Javier Reyes, who plays in Animals as Leaders with me, is an amazing classical / Spanish classical guitarist.
In a short write-up posted by Ortega Guitars, he stated that he's always wanted to create a style of music that focused on being emotionally exploitative and technically sound. And I'd argue it's safe to say that he's done just that. On top of being a part of Animals as Leaders, Javier also has a solo project called Mesties, which is essentially Animals as Leaders without Tosin, since Matt Garstka is also the drummer for that band as well. One thing that separates Mesties from Animals as Leaders is Javier's more simplistic approach to guitar playing, utilizing more melodies and cleaner guitar tones. For any of you who do decide to listen to Mesties for the first time, I'd recommend checking out the album Ikasia. I feel like this project represents Javier the most without sounding like a version 2 of Animals as Leaders. Unlike some other bands emerging during this guitar era, the praises that Animals as Leaders has received have been tried and true, with both Tosin and Javier making a name for themselves outside of the band. Their attention to sound detail, combined with incredible theory knowledge, clearly demonstrates the experience they both possess. What makes them so unique are the musical concepts they implement, and not to mention their amazing drummer, who is capable of holding some insane odd-metered rhythms. I've yet to come across anyone who has had a negative opinion about Animals as Leaders, and how can you? As veterans in the industry, they've been around for the entirety of the modern guitar era, and have continued to steadily progress. They just released their 5th album, Parasia, and I firmly believe they'll always be one of the best progressive metal bands, regardless of if you listen to them or not. Thank you so much to all of you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, all of that good stuff. I will catch you guys next time.